Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. This is Radio Free Mormon on the air, broadcasting behind enemy lines. Tonight's episode, Tim Ballard strikes back. Well, I've been doing some reporting on this Tim Ballard story as it's breaking. The first podcast I did was Friday. I did another one Sunday morning. I did another one yesterday. And now I have to talk about Tim Ballard's statement, his official statement that was released last night. Today is the morning of September 19th, 2023. It is a Tuesday morning. I apologize for my attire and wearing my work clothes to podcast in. I just got back from court. Very happy to get a couple of cases dismissed against a couple of very happy clients. But I wanted to hurry up and get this on the air as quickly as possible because this is late breaking news. This is big news because Tim Ballard now has issued a statement. I had mentioned in a prior podcast that surely the church is going to issue a statement. This was last Sunday morning. I said, I know things are quiet, but I expected them to issue a statement, the church to, by Sunday evening. And then that didn't happen. Then Monday, all day Monday went by. I expected it. It didn't happen. Monday night went by. It didn't happen. And I went to the church's website just now, to the newsroom, and they have no news release about Tim Ballard or the situation. For 18th of September, which was yesterday on Monday, these are the news releases they have. Church leaders gather in Mexico City. The latest temple news. General officers connect with women leaders in San Diego. Roots Tech 2024 opens registration. These are the news releases that are being put up in the church newsroom on their official website. Nothing about Tim Ballard. They have been dithering and dallying and procrastinating and sleeping on this issue and not issuing a formal statement about what on earth is going on, because this is what all the Mormons who know about this, and especially the fans of Tim Ballard who are Mormon, are wondering what on earth is going on. Is this an authentic kind of news release that was given on Friday from the church spokesman, the 15-year director of public relations, Doug Anderson, to Vice News? Why isn't it on the church news official website? These are the questions people are asking. Is this real? Are the church leaders really behind it? Well, of course they're behind it. Doug Anderson, a 15-year veteran, isn't going to be issuing news releases to anybody, including and especially Vice News, without it being signed off on by church leadership. But these are the questions that are being asked. Also, it appears that the scrubbing of Tim Ballard from the official church website is continuing apace. They have taken down their news stories about him from the website, which once again makes it look like this is not a rogue PR manager named Doug Anderson doing this under his own authority. This is a concerted effort. This is what the church does when they want to make you go down the memory hole, which is what they're doing with Tim Ballard right now. But the very fact that these articles about Tim Ballard are being removed from the church website show that this is a concerted effort, organized at a very high level, and indeed within the top 15, obviously, at least obviously to me. We'll see how this plays out. Also at Deseret Book, which is of course owned by the LDS Church. Last night, I got some information that it was getting difficult, if not impossible, to order any of Tim Ballard's products that were on the Deseret Book website. And whereas there are some audio speeches, or maybe they're books, I'm not sure exactly which, they go for $2.99, that were available and are still available apparently. As of last night, there was a book by Tim Ballard, one book that was available on the Deseret Book website, and that was Slave Stealers. That's what it was. It was the book Slave Stealers. It went for around 25 or 35 bucks. But last night, I had some information from some friends who were trying to order it, and they couldn't. They could pull it up. They could get to the page where you add it to your cart. And when you push the button, add to cart, it didn't work. There was no adding that to your cart. It looks like you could have added some of the other $2.99 audiobooks to the cart, but not the actual physical copy. And I tried it myself, and I could not. That add to the cart button might as well have been painted on my phone screen because it did not work. You could tap it all day long, and all it was going to do is sit there and not add anything to the cart. Now it is 9:10 a.m. Pacific time on September 19th. I am once again at the Deseret Book website. The book is gone now. Now you can't add it to your cart. Definitely, you can't even see it on the website. They still have some of these $2.99 video or audio products. Let me see if I can add that. Yeah, I can add it. Apparently, I could go ahead and proceed to check out and buy one of those books. Excuse me, buy one of those audio books. But the actual book is gone. It's gone. And so I think it's a matter of time now before all the rest of the products by Tim Ballard are going to be erased from the Deseret Book website. So while the church has been busy doing all this clandestine cloak and dagger stuff, like erasing him and throwing him down the memory hole and not dealing with the public fallout of what's going on here. Because once again, there are tons and tons of members of the church who look up to Tim Ballard as a hero. There's plenty of people outside the church who look up to him as a hero. That is the predominant public perception of Tim Ballard. And he's a Mormon. He's a good Mormon in that he is faithful, at least as far as we know. I know that there's accounts coming out now that indicate that he may not have been keeping the law of chastity as strictly as he might have. But that's perception. And he rescues children, hundreds, thousands of children from these child sex traffickers. The Sound of Freedom, featuring Tim Ballard being played by Jim Caviezel, was a huge hit this summer and brought the notoriety and the fame and the glory to Tim Ballard even bigger than it had been before. And so now at this point, on Friday, the church issues its now famous, if not infamous, press release to Vice News condemning Tim Ballard in somewhat ambiguous language, but the part that's not ambiguous is saying that Tim Ballard had betrayed President Ballard's friendship and also accusing him of being morally unacceptable in some way, which probably has to do with an allegation by Elder Ballard that Tim Ballard had been using Elder Ballard's name to profit and to promote his business. I don't know what's going to happen here. It may turn out that actually what's going on is that Elder Ballard is running as fast as he can away from Tim Ballard, because it may be, and I stress may be, this story is developing even as I speak. It may be that President Ballard was involved in the business dealings of Tim Ballard. It looks like he may well have been. And it also may be that those business dealings may have not exactly been on the up and up. Or as President Ballard's press release put it, they may have been morally unacceptable. Okay, so that's where we have now. So the leadership of the church has not been doing anything publicly. They haven't been responding. I thought surely they would. But, I was talking to another podcaster yesterday, and I thought, well, I would expect them to. But then again, over and over and over again, the church fails to do what I would consider to be the smart thing to do. They don't do it. They'll do something completely different and leave me scratching my head and thinking, if I had tried to come up with as bad an idea as I possibly could for the church to do, I could not have imagined that they would do something that bad. And right now, they're silent. They're not doing anything. And that is the worst possible thing that they could be doing, because guess what happens? Tim Ballard now comes out with his public announcement, and it is absolutely brilliant. I've got to tell you, it pins the ears back on church leadership and leaves them with very little wiggle room. It almost mandates that they have to announce that this statement that was made on Friday was not authorized by the church. So let me pull up that statement by Tim Ballard, which was issued yesterday. I think it was late yesterday. And it was issued through Tim Ballard's new corporation, since he stepped down from our Operation Underground Railroad several months ago and created this new organization, the Spear Fund, SPEAR. So this is Dateline, Salt Lake City, Utah, September 18th, 2023, the Spear Fund, an organization funding and collaborating with a coalition of experts, organizations, and concerned citizens from around the globe to end human trafficking in our time. What could be wrong with that? It's releasing a statement on behalf of Senior Advisor Tim Ballard regarding the commitment to the Church of Jesus Christ, his commitment to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And here's the statement. Are you ready? All right. Rescuing kids and fighting child trafficking is an ugly and dark business, especially when, as the result of my work for more than 20 years, we continue to expose members of the powerful, well-funded child trafficking cartels. Evil pedophiles will stop at nothing, and they have allies in government, in the media, in big corporations, and even in public institutions. I wonder if there's even a mild insinuation that might be drawn from this, that the big corporations in which evil pedophiles have allies might even include the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I think that's a nice touch. By the way, I'm not speaking for the truth of this. I'm just speaking of this as a political move. This is brilliant. Tim Ballard is playing chess, and church leaders are playing checkers. And they're playing checkers like they don't even know how to play checkers even. That's the difference. It's amazing that Tim Ballard can produce a brief, brilliant, well-worded, politically powerful statement while church leaders are dithering. Church leaders have billions of dollars to pay for the best public relations people on the planet. And yet all they get are hacks, it seems. Okay. So it goes on now. What the statement is first done is Tim Ballard has talked about how great he is, what a hero he is in fighting these child traffickers for more than 20 years, and that these evil pedophiles they'll stop at nothing, and they have allies in government, in the media, in big corporations, and even in public institutions. They continue to lie, and attempt to destroy my good name and defame my character, and they will never stop. This is a wonderful insinuation without coming out and saying it. Coming out and saying it would be too much. Leaving it as this insinuation that could apply to a vast number of people, among which might be the LDS Church. That's brilliant. Good move. Okay, you get the RFM seal of approval on that one, Tim. It goes on. I want everyone to know that I and our vast army of supporters, by the way, extra credit for the correct grammar. I want everyone to know that I and our vast army of supporters will likewise never stop. We will keep fighting for the vulnerable all over the globe, and we know that the truth will always prevail. Okay, now it's segueing, having established his bona fides and making this suggestion that the evil pedophiles are going to go after him, and they continue to lie and attempt to destroy Tim's good name and defame his character. Now he goes into the second half. I am a faithful member in good standing in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oops, misspelled. Sorry, I have to take back that extra credit. Latter-day Saints, the D is capitalized. Tim, that D should be small case. Okay, just saying. I'm a faithful member in good standing in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Holy Scriptures, and I believe in our faith with my whole heart. That will never change. Yeah, we'll see about that part, but still, it's a nice flourish. It has been alleged, it's an allegation, because the church hasn't moved. Tim comes into the vacuum to pin them to the mat and talk about this official statement from Friday to Vice News about Elder Ballard and Tim Ballard as being an allegation, because the church hasn't stood up, put it on its newsroom, or said it is valid, it is authorized, it is authentically from the church. It has been alleged that an LDS church spokesperson issued a statement about me through a tabloid that is often hostile to people of faith. My church has not publicly verified the statement's authenticity. You idiots, you're sleeping. He's taking advantage of you. And I have to say, he's doing it very well. My church has not publicly verified the statement's authenticity. We are also highly suspicious about the timing of such a statement, given its close proximity to Mitt Romney's announcement that he is retiring, my own public comments about my prayers about future plans, and the fact that the LDS Church does not engage in political activity. Okay, so he's saying it's anonymous. It hasn't been verified by the church. It's an allegation at this point. But before it becomes verified by the church, now he gets to come in here and talk about the circumstances under which this statement, this alleged statement from the church, has been issued. He talks about the fact that Mitt Romney has announced he's retiring from his Senate seat to the U.S. Senate from Utah, and that it has been very obvious to a lot of people, even though the announcement has not been made yet by Tim Ballard, that Tim Ballard has been talking about his prayers and future plans. And then the nice twist, and the fact that the LDS Church is not engaged in political activity. Okay, so what he's done here is he's put him on the mat. What he's saying is that if the church actually did this, then it would be a violation of the professions of the LDS Church to not engage in political activity. You see how he's pinning them now? He'll go on. In any event, nothing will change my core beliefs. He's faithful. He's letting it known he's a faithful member of the LDS Church. If someone within the church did release this statement, which is a possibility, right? If Doug Anderson did release this statement from within the church, I am absolutely confident, he goes on, I am absolutely confident that the right people will step in and ensure that proper due process is followed as the rules of our church dictate. Okay, so now he's pinned him a second time. He said that if the church now finally wakes up and issues a statement saying, yeah, this is an official statement from the church, not only are they admitting that they're involving themselves in political activity, the LDS Church is, contrary to their public statements, and they'll be admitting that they disciplined in some form, okay, not membership maybe, but maybe worse than membership. It's like Glenn Beck said before he deleted his post, that the church effectively excommunicated Tim Ballard by issuing that statement. So he's saying that if you now admit that that statement is authentic and it is from church leadership, then you have also violated the rights of due process that are followed by the rules of the church. You violated church rules, church leaders, if you now come out and say that this is from you and it's not something that somebody else did without your authorization. It's a brilliant move. Final paragraph. I, my family, and the Spear Fund team will confidently move forward and focus on our mission of saving children from the horrors of sex slavery and remaining fierce defenders of freedom. We invite anyone who shares this passion to join us. Period. End of quote. End of statement by Tim Ballard. So he takes this horrible situation in which he finds himself with this statement, allegedly now, still allegedly, issued by the church, because no church leaders come out and said, yeah, it's legit. He's turning it into a fundraising activity, a fundraising campaign. Yes, obviously I'm being attacked. Obviously I'm being persecuted. I'm a faithful Mormon, so it can't be my leaders doing it, because if it were my leaders doing it, they would be violating their own rules about not getting involved in politics, and they'd be violating their own rules about proper church discipline and due process as followed by the rules of our church. Okay. So I don't know who Tim Ballard has working for him. This is something that's very, very well put together. He might have put it together himself. I don't think that he has billions of dollars, at least not yet. I don't think he has billions of dollars to hire the best public relations people and PR experts on the planet like the LDS Church has. But I think that he has totally outmaneuvered them with this statement. We will see where this goes from here. I hope to be with you to report about it as things continue to unfold. Until next time, this is Radio Free Mormon, signing off the air.